So bienvenidos. I know I said in my email that this is kind of an open house meet and greet, and we are recording today so that folks who are working or not able to join us can watch the video later. So if you would like to show your face, please feel free to unmute your camera, and if you would rather, you may also remain with your camera muted, whatever you feel comfortable with. Bienvenidos todos. Gracias por estar aquí hoy. Welcome to our study abroad meet and greet with the professors from Cuernavaca, Mexico, and from Universal, the partnering language school with Augsburg University. You can see behind me, the background here is Cuernavaca. I'm standing on the hillside here overlooking Augsburg's classrooms in Cuernavaca. And beside me is the Director of Academic Programs, Irma Salazar Millán.
Hola.
Irma is coordinating professors for the summer and the summer course offerings that will be offered entirely online during the next summer 1 and summer 2 sessions. Also, we're joined by instructors Norma Mendez, Norma, Rosalba Bello.
Hola, hola a todos. Muchas gracias por estar aquí.
Gracias. Norma and Rosalba both teach language classes of all levels as well as literature. Norma also enjoys teaching history and civilization, Mexican culture. And then Ana Alarcón.
Hola.
Ana is a medical doctor in Mexico, and she teaches Spanish language for the medical professions, and she will be teaching that course during the summer. Lisanne is the housing coordinator. She coordinates student services for students doing homestays in Mexico, and she's also offering support with IT to faculty during this pandemic as we're moving courses to online. Lucy Hardiker works in the Augsburg campus in Minneapolis, coordinating study abroad programs for students and helping to match students with the programs that are best for them. And Lucy works with partner institutions from all around, universities around the United States use Augsburg's premier programs. As you made a choice to come to Augsburg, you picked one of the best schools in the nation for study abroad programs. So that's an asset of studying at Augsburg. So I'd like to go around and let faculty say hello. Quiero dejar la voz a que los profesores, la directora se presenten. And Lisanne, would you be willing to translate? Provide interpretation?
Yep.
Maybe we'll start with Director Irma Salazar Millán.
Hola, estudiantes. No puedo verlos a todos, pero bienvenidos a esta actividad. Mi nombre es Irma Salazar Millán.
So good afternoon to all students. I can't see all of you, but welcome to this activity this afternoon. My name is Irma Salazar Millán.
Y vivo en Cuernavaca, Morelos, que está al sur de
Cuernavaca, Morelos, south of Mexico City.
Okay. Actualmente yo estoy coordinando, como dijo Sara, el departamento de español.
As Sarah mentioned, I am presently coordinating the Spanish department.
Pero también soy profesora y doy clases de español en todos los niveles.
And I'm also a Spanish teacher and teach all levels.
Actualmente voy a enseñar el nivel 112.
I'm going to be teaching level 112.
Entonces, bienvenidos a todos los que quieran entrar a este curso.
So welcome to everybody who wants to be part of this course.
Ajá. Bueno, creo que no tenemos mucho tiempo, pero bienvenidos otra vez.
And I don't think we have that much time, but once again, welcome. Gracias, Irma.
De nada.
Gracias, Irma. Gracias por coordinar
Thank you, Irma. Thank you for
de
coordinating.
estudiar con ustedes allá en Cuernavaca y a la distancia. Y
And
quiero
thank you for
darle-
coordinating with us from the distance there in Cuernavaca.
quiero pasar la voz a Norma Méndez,
Bueno,
profesora de
Hola,
Cuernavaca.
Norma.
mi nombre es Norma Méndez. Soy profesora de español en la Escuela Universal. Me gusta
Hello,
mucho la historia.
Norma Mendez, and I'm a teacher at Universal Language School, and I really love history.
Soy de Cuernavaca, Morelos, y he vivido toda mi vida aquí.
I'm from Cuernavaca, Morelos. I've lived my entire life here.
Me gusta escuchar música, me gusta conocer gente nueva, aprender de la gente nueva.
I love to listen to music, and I love to meet new people and learn from new people.
Me gusta mucho mi trabajo
I really love my work.
y voy a enseñar el curso 111
I will be teaching Spanish 111,
y espero que aprendamos mucho juntos.
and I hope that we will have lots of time together.
Thank you, Norma. I had the privilege of watching Norma teach in 2018 when I visited Cuernavaca.
En
And
2018 tuve el privilegio de observar a Norma dar clases cuando estaba visitando a Cuernavaca.
I got to meet and observe her teaching a 112 class
Y
on with a student who within a month
observar,
had achieved a level of fluency that she was speaking in paragraphs with Norma. It was amazing.
y estaba viendo cómo la estudiante estaba interactuando con Norma y cómo pudo hablar en párrafos. Fue increíble.
Gracias.
Quiero pasar la voz ahora a Rosalba Bello, profesora de Cuernavaca, Augsburg en Cuernavaca, México.
Sí, buenas tardes a todos.
Good
Me llamo
afternoon to everyone.
Me llamo Rosalba Bello y en estas circunstancias que estamos con esta nueva forma de presentarnos y estar, estoy muy contenta de que podamos tener este contacto.
And so my name is Rosalba Bello, and given these new circumstances for how we are engaging, I just want to say that I'm really pleased to be able to meet all of you in this way.
Bueno, enseñamos a Augsburg desde hace muchos años y también quiero decir, en esta ocasión voy a enseñar el 335, que es literatura latinoamericana, mexicana.
I've been teaching with Augsburg for many years now, and at this point, I'm going to be teaching Spanish 335, Mexican literature.
Es un curso muy interesante, muy ameno, muy divertido y también, por supuesto, con mucha información.
It's a wonderful course. It's a delight to teach. It's really wonderful, and of course, there's lots of it's fun, and there's a lot of really interesting information.
Estoy muy contenta de estar en esta reunión con ustedes.
And I'm really pleased to be here in this meeting with all of you.
Gracias, Rosalba. Having observed you teach, I know that your students are very engaged and your courses are very interactive and conversational. I wondered, what's your favorite work of Mexican literature? I know that's a hard question, but is there one work que quisiera preguntar si hay una obra de literatura mexicana que es una favorita? Que es en curso.
Oh. Varias, pero es difícil decir una, pero hay una que a mí me encanta, Juan Rulfo, mucho, es una de las es parte de este curso y es mi favorito.
So there are many, of course, but in particular, Juan Rulfo I would have to say is a particular favorite in this course.
Okay, qué bien. Acabo de poner su nombre ahí en el chat. I just put the name of the author, Juan Rulfo, in the chat if anybody would like to take a look. Ahora quiero pasar la voz a profesora y doctora Ana Alarcón. I would like to invite Ana Alarcón to tell us about her courses. She teaches the medical Spanish courses in Cuernavaca, and she's a medical doctor also in Cuernavaca.
Hola, mucho gusto en conocerlos. Me llamo Ana María Alarcón, pero Ana está bien. Soy médico general. Yo estudié en la Ciudad de México, en donde viví por mucho tiempo, pero ahora tengo un poco más de 20 años viviendo en Cuernavaca.
So my name is Ana María Alarcón, or you can call me Ana. I'm a medical doctor, a general practitioner. I studied in Mexico City, but I've been living now in Cuernavaca for over 20 years.
Sí, soy profesora de español en el curso de salud.
And I'm the Spanish teacher for the Spanish for Health practitioners.
Pero también he tomado varios cursos y varias sesiones para dar español como segunda lengua, y tengo más de 20 años también dando clase de español general, no de salud.
And so I've also taken many courses in methodologies and practicing teaching Spanish. And so in Spanish in general, not just healthcare Spanish.
En este curso, en este verano, voy a dar el 111.
So this summer, I'm going to be teaching Spanish 111.
Y también un poco más adelante el curso de salud.
And a little later, I will be teaching the Spanish for Health practitioners.
Sí, me gusta mucho enseñar, y para mí es una gran satisfacción escuchar a mis estudiantes cuando ya se pueden comunicar por sí solos y con una muy buena estructura. Me gusta mucho eso.
And so I'm very pleased to be here, and I just want to say it gives me great satisfaction when I teach and I'm able to hear students speaking in full sentences and speaking with a certain fluency.
Muchas gracias y bienvenidos.
Thank you very much and welcome.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much, Ana.
De nada.
I'd like to invite Lucy Partaker, who coordinates with students here on campus at Augsburg, to say hello and tell us about her work.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me on the call today. My name is Lucy Hardiker, and I work in the Minneapolis office with the Center for Global Education and Experience.
So, mucho gusto. Me llamo Lucy Hardiker y yo trabajo aquí con el Centro para la Educación Mundial y Experiencia aquí en Augsburg.
And I work with students with marketing, social media, that kind of thing, to help students that are from other universities outside Augsburg learn about our wonderful programs.
Y yo trabajo con estudiantes, con el mercado técnico, con las redes sociales y en particular con otros estudiantes de otras universidades que quisieran conocer los programas aquí con nosotros.
Thanks for having me today.
Gracias por recibirme.
Lisanne, would you like to tell us your work and say hi from Amatlan outside Cuernavaca?
Hi, my name is Lisanne Morgan, and I've been working for the Center for Global Education and Experience for 18 years. I work in Cuernavaca, but I live about an hour outside of Cuernavaca in a rural community, indigenous community called Amatlan. So if I drop out of the meeting, it's not because of anything, but we've been having power failures, like mini power failures that goes off for 5 minutes, but that's enough for the modem to to disappear. So I'm very happy to be here, and as Sarah said, I coordinate homestays, but I also coordinate internships, the academic internships, and help teach the academic internship course throughout the year. And I'm really pleased to be here today, and I'm pretty excited that people have showed up. So thanks for helping us break a routine.
Thank you so much, Lisanne, for providing interpretation and for the work that you do to facilitate students' comfort and well-being when studying abroad. And thank you, Lucy, for making this session today possible. And so I'm hearing in the chat some questions from students, and so I'd like to invite a time of Q&A. We might not have the answers for you today, but we might have them. And so let's take a minute. When your question, would you tell us a little bit about who you are, if you're studying Spanish, and then go ahead and ask your question. And I think if you would like to have Lisanne translate for you, she would be willing to do that.
Yes.
Okay, I have a question. So my name is Abby. I'm a first-year student here at Augsburg, and I am in the Spanish 112 class. I've been in Spanish.
Me llamo Abby, yo soy en mi segundo semestre y aquí en Augsburg, y voy a tomar el curso de 112 y yo sí tengo una pregunta. Go ahead, Abby. Your question?
Just wondering, like in Cuernavaca, are they on quarantine as well?
Quisiera saber que si en Cuernavaca también están en cuarentena.
¿Y le podemos contestar nosotros?
Adelante.
Claro que
Sí, estamos en cuarentena, pero estamos en... la próxima semana será la semana pico, según la información.
We are in quarantine, and next week they're expecting it to be our peak week for the virus.
Entonces, planean que la cuarentena va a terminar hasta finales de mayo.
And so we expect the quarantine to end by the end of May.
Y tal vez, no sé, hasta ahora, hasta mayo, ¿no? Todo esto es relativo, ¿verdad?
And they say to the end of May, but of course this is all relative, right? I mean, at some point that could change.
Okay,
And
gracias, Abby, por la pregunta. Thank you, Abby, for that question. I want to see if others have questions about studying abroad, about the program, about any of the courses. Sara, adelante.
Tengo una preguntita sobre el curso de salud y estoy estudiando enfermería con un mentor de español. ¿Cómo es el horario y cuántas semanas y cuántos días cada semana, las horas y cómo así?
Lisanne, tenemos ya el horario, ese horario. Creo que serán solamente 2 horas y 3 veces por semana. Pero no estoy segura, todavía.
So we don't have the exact schedule yet, but generally there's a 2-hour in-person, like face-to-face, and then there's also work to do on your own. So there's a certain requirement. ¿Y cuántas semanas son de
Total.
De este curso? Creo que son 3.5 también.
3.5. Y es diario, ¿verdad? So
creo que es intensivo.
It's a 3.5-week course, and it's a daily course because it's intensive in that sense.
Pero podemos, si tiene un correo, nosotros podemos enviarle toda la información mañana, si ella ya correcta, porque no puedo entrar a mi correo para ver.
And if you want to send us your email address, we can send you, from here, we'll send you all of the correct updated information. Just to sort of say, some things have been changing because we've had to shift everything, obviously, from a person-to-person model to online. And so it's the first time for all of us doing this. We've had to go through the whole the course on how to use the platform of Moodle, etc. So for us, this is as teachers, it's a new thing. And also that's changed, I think, a little bit how the course was envisioned when we started the courses a couple of weeks ago to where we are now. So that's part of the change as we're learning new things and figuring things out. Some of that has been changing to make it easier for you students and also for the person-to-person contact. Definitely one of the things that everybody is in agreement is that we should be having individual face-to-face time, because language acquisition is really challenged if you don't have that face-to-face practice time. So we're really committed to having that. Nada más para un resumen, lo que comenté es a través de que estamos haciendo nosotros estos talleres sobre cómo usar la plataforma de Moodle. También eso ha cambiado un poco la visión de cómo formar los cursos, y mientras que vamos aprendiendo más, eso ya vamos conociendo más cómo hacer.
Claro, claro.
Y estamos comprometidas de tener tiempo en persona con las y los estudiantes, porque sabemos que es la manera de aprender una nueva idioma.
Pero estamos seguros que va a divertirse en ese curso, dile, por favor.
Well, we're sure that you're going to have fun in this course.
Eso sí.
Y aprender mucho.
También.
And learn a lot.
Por supuesto, sí.
Does that answer your question, Sarah?
Sí, gracias.
Thank you, Sarah, for that great question. And I put my email address in the chat. I would be happy to forward your questions on to the right folks at Augsburg. So feel free if you want to send me an email after this meeting or during the meeting, and you can also ask questions here. So I think here's what we're looking at. I'll take a couple more questions if anybody would like to ask to the whole group, and then we'd like to get into breakout rooms in order to do a short activity and have you get to know teachers one-on-one. And if you'd like, I can try to place you in the small group with a teacher who will be teaching the level that's appropriate for you.
There is a question from Sue.
Okay, Sue, let's see.
In the chat?
Sue is asking, what are the challenges in teaching online versus in a seated or classroom format? That's a great question. Si alguien
La pregunta para ustedes, ¿cuáles son los retos de dar clases en línea en contra de estar sentados en la clase y ese formato?
Pues estar sentados es el reto. No,
Well, being seated, that's a joke.
No.
Yeah, the challenge is being seated, just like you.
Sí.
It's hard to sit for this long because teachers are used to walking around.
Bueno, hay muchas actividades que tienen que ser un poco diferentes, ¿no? Tienes que...
A number of activities that have to be done differently.
Ajá. Por ejemplo, juegos no es muy fácil hacerlos, ¿no? Juegos didácticos, ¿no?
So,
No
for
es
instance,
fácil.
using didactic games for part of the teaching those don't translate so easily online.
Pero no, y la tecnología, ¿no? El ruido algunas veces, el internet, ¿no? Que presencial, pues no tenemos ningún problema de contacto, ¿no? Pero
And also
por
the
internet.
technology, for instance, the internet or the internet, the broadband, or like even power failures and things like that. We don't have to worry about any of those if we are face-to-face.
Pero en términos de el aprendizaje, la enseñanza-aprendizaje, no veo muy grandes diferencias.
But in terms of the teaching and learning piece, I don't see a huge difference because the learning will happen.
No sé si alguien quiere agregar algo
getting
más.
some more great questions. I'm getting some questions in the chat. So Leo has a question. He says, I'm a bit worried about the 3.5 week, 3.5 week version of this course, but interested in learning more about it. What's it like on a daily basis, referring to the 2-hour class periods, and what's the work like outside of class? Thank you, Leo, for that question.
Okay. Dice Leo que estoy un poco preocupado por la versión de 3 semanas y medias de un curso, pero me interesa aprender más sobre esto y también para saber cómo es la rutina cotidiana de la clase en cuanto a las 2 horas de tiempo de contacto personal y el trabajo fuera de la clase.
Mira, ahora estamos dando 3 horas clase desde hace un mes más o menos, 3 horas cada día.
Es en persona, ¿verdad?
Sí, no, online.
Online, ok.
Ya estamos dando 3 horas cada día, 4 días por semana.
So right now we are teaching courses that are 3 hours a day for 4 hours. Sorry, for 4 days. Pardon me.
Y tratamos de hacer lo mismo, cambiar las actividades para que los estudiantes estén siempre atentos, ¿no? No se aburran, ¿no?
Entonces, and so we're trying to organize the activities in a way that the students remain engaged and don't get bored just looking at a screen.
Entonces las actividades van cambiando, ¿no? Podemos empezar hablando, ¿no? Podemos empezar con gramática, no, hablando, ¿no?
We can begin like having a conversation, a dialogue, and then immediately move to grammar. No, I'm just kidding.
Ajá. Entonces es diferente, ¿no? Pero tenemos la organización muy bien planeada, sin embargo, en algunos casos cambiamos por esas situaciones, ¿no?
And so I think that the plan is to have really well organized classes to make sure that the program is clear and so that there be things that change around, ¿no?
So I'm getting a
Pero
question.
no se aburren, ¿eh? No se aburren.
You won't get bored.
No se aburren.
You'll come out bilingual. I've seen many students go to Cuernavaca and come back bilingual.
Rosalba, ¿querías compartir algo?
Sí, los contenidos de los programas tienen que ser cubiertos, esos contenidos, entonces tratamos de que lo más posible cara a cara sea, se aproveche el tiempo para dar la clase y poder cubrir al mismo tiempo esos contenidos gramaticales y de lectura.
So we make sure that all of the course material is covered in that time frame. We also make sure that there's in that face-to-face time that there's time for responding, making sure all of the different material that there are questions about gets covered, and also making sure that the grammar gets covered. So that's what we try to ensure.
No sé si hay otra pregunta.
Sarah, you're muted.
Thank you.
Sarah Digger.
I'm getting a question in the chat from Sean. Thanks, Sean, for these good questions. Whether these classes are online for the summer, and he's wondering how they will be offered in the fall, and also wondering during the school year, are these classes through the school? I think through Augsburg. Or would he contact the school directly? So how do you get into these courses in Cuernavaca? And then another question is, what courses will be taught next year? And do you all enjoy teaching study abroad students, or do you find it more difficult? So that's a lot of questions.
And
I can
I
see
don't
them more
have them
slowly.
here.
Yes.
Sarah.
Sure, I think he sent them to me privately in the chat, so they're not copied.
Okay.
The first question is, I think the summer courses, yes, are all online because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Do not yet know about fall courses. We are waiting. I think Augsburg is waiting for that decision until we know more, both for our Minneapolis campus and for the Cuernavaca program.
And for the person to contact about that would be Margaret Anderson. I'll find her email and put it in the chat. She's the person who coordinates the semester, summer, spring, spring, summer, fall. Yes, if you go to, she can send you a list, but if you actually go to the Center for Global Education and Experience site at Augsburg, you'll find the list, the huge list of Spanish courses that are taught. And those are offered pretty much every semester, barring something, like a pandemic. But other than that, yeah, those tend to be the courses that we teach. Y yo creo que la última pregunta para las profesoras es, ¿qué les gusta más? Si les gusta dar clases a estudiantes que vienen de afuera, o si lo ven más difícil dando clases con gente que viene de afuera, enseñándole español.
Ana, contesta, o Norma.
No, yo creo que no es más difícil, porque el tema es el mismo. Los estudiantes extranjeros siempre están muy interesados en aprender el español. Si dieran español a personas hispanohablantes, no tendrían tanto interés, porque ellas ya hablan.
Foreign students who come who are interested in learning Spanish really show a lot of interest, and that makes it very interesting for us. And I think Spanish-speaking students have less interest, and so that actually makes it a little more difficult.
Sí, algo que también es diferente es que en una clase de español a hispanohablantes, si yo diera español a chicos de México, de Cuernavaca, sería una clase de 20, 25 estudiantes, hasta 30. Y nuestras clases en Universal no deben ser de más de 5 estudiantes, es lo máximo. Muchas veces he tenido clases 1-1 o 2 estudiantes y yo. Somos 3 personas que evidentemente vamos a poder interactuar mejor y vamos a practicar mucho más.
Mm-hmm. So if I were teaching Spanish in Cuernavaca to Spanish speakers, I would, first off, I would have a classroom of at least 20, if not more. Where in the case here at Universal, we don't have a class that's any larger than 5 students. And in fact, I've even had classes where it's just one-on-one, or there's just 2 of us, so it's just 3 of us in the class, and that gives us a lot of
Interactuamos.
And we interact a lot better.
Norma, ¿quieres decir algo? ¿O no?
No, bueno, obviamente el español que nosotros enseñamos es diferente, porque como dice Ana María, los mexicanos no necesitan aprender español.
And so when we teach Spanish, as a foreign language, it's a little bit different, obviously, than teaching Spanish speakers, because they don't need to learn to speak the language. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Entonces, en el momento en que un extranjero decide aprender español, quiere decir que tiene interés. Y creo que es la parte más importante de aprender la lengua, tener interés.
And so when a foreigner decides that they want to learn to speak Spanish, they've already demonstrated their interest. And I think that's the most important thing in wanting to acquire a language, is the interest that one brings to it.
Y también, pues somos especialistas en enseñar español como segunda lengua, ¿no? Entonces,
Tenemos mucha experiencia.
Become experts at, and we are the experts at and specialists at teaching Spanish to non-Spanish speakers.
entonces, no es un problema, es fácil para nosotros.
Definitely not a problem. It's quite easy for us.
Ok, gracias por las preguntas que han sido importantes. Thank you for the questions. Gracias a las profesoras de Cuernavaca. Thank you for taking the time.
No, gracias a ustedes.
Thank you for, and I'm so glad we have a recording so we can share this with anyone who wants to know more about the program and have a sense for the teachers who will be hosting and facilitating their studies in Spanish and their apprenticeship, no, in learning Mexican culture in Cuernavaca, getting to know the community, either long distance over the summer or face-to-face and in person once we're able to go back to Cuernavaca personally. I know I can't wait. I'm so looking forward to going back to Cuernavaca and spending time in person with you all. Everybody's coming back now from the breakout sessions. So I wanted to see if there are any general questions, questions that you weren't able to get answered in the small group, or a question you wanted to ask to a different teacher. If you had any observations. Go ahead.
Question. I don't know if this is something, like if you guys are the right people to ask this question, but is the cost of the course just the same as a regular online course now that it's not in Cuernavaca?
That's a great question. And I think
I can answer that.
Lucy is the one who can tell us about that part of the program. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we're just charging the same amount per credit that we would charge for an online course. If you were to take the program in country, that's when we add program fees, paying for housing, that kind of thing. But none of that applies, so you're just paying your tuition dollars like you normally would, the same price.
Thank you.
But if any of you, just a little, I'm just gonna do a little plug, but if any of you at some point at the end of this pandemic say, hey, I want to go study in Cuernavaca, because the program costs include all of your housing and food, it ends up being cheaper than staying on campus. Just a little note. And if you want to let anybody else know that, that'd be great.
It's true.
That is true. I can verify that.
True. Also, the way the dollar works in Mexico, you find that life is affordable. And because Mexican culture really celebrates and practices the tradition of good cuisine and spending time at the table and living together, con la convivencia, you eat so well and you will live so well and you will spend time in families, really living in a way that will serve you as a model for living for the rest of your life. So it's a way of life that I think you can't put a dollar amount on that, but at the same time, I think it's important to state how well you can live when you learn to convivir, la convivencia.
Así es. And we're going to try to find ways to bring all of those pieces of Mexican culture and the different pieces of that convivir. We're exploring new ways to do that and to include video and audio clips and try to introduce you to the extended community that we have here. So it won't be the same, obviously, but even though it's just, an online course, we're also hoping to integrate you into our larger community. Perdón, les dije que a pesar que nada más está en línea, que estamos buscando la manera de integrar los estudiantes a toda la convivencia en la comunidad más amplia que tengamos a través de audio y video y otras cosas.
This terrible pandemic is also giving us the opportunity to learn resilience and to be creative. And I think this ongoing connection that we have is something I'm so grateful for, in being able to collaborate with and learn from the faculty in Cuernavaca. It's been so meaningful for me in the past month, to be reconnected with teachers that I was able to learn from during my visit there. And I think we're all benefiting from that, because here, for example, we're getting to know each other, and that's a bridge to making the next step and thinking about what would it be like to have a full course with a professor in Cuernavaca. What would it be like in the fall or the winter or a year or two from now for Lisanne to coordinate my homestay in Cuernavaca? What would it be like to work with Lucy? And so I'm really glad you're here to be thinking about those things and making those next steps. No, I look back on my study abroad experience as foundational for becoming bilingual. I believe that when we're bilingual, we're worth two. That comes from a phrase, no? Ser bilingüe es dos. That is a skill, but it also opens social possibilities, and it opens a much bigger world. And so I see my time living abroad as being foundational. And as even during this pandemic, I go back to resilient skills that really were planted in me during a time of living abroad and learning to live in different rules in a different country, where I was learning how to ask questions and advocate for myself and find out what I needed, think about that, feel it, and then ask for help when I needed it. And having visited our Cuernavaca partners, I can say that you will be so well supported. I currently have a student who studied abroad 3 times, and that's not every year. I think I have a student who studied abroad at least 2 and often 3 times. Those are such valuable experiences that really shape who we are. And so I want to invite, if any other students have questions, if there's anything that, or even doubts, tell us what your concerns are about as you imagine yourself possibly studying abroad. What's hard to imagine? Or if you think about taking an online course this summer, are there questions that anyone has? You can also reach out in the chat, or be sure to write down my email. It's easy. It's like river. OSS at Augsburg. I'm putting it in the chat. You can find me also if you just look at the Augsburg email and type in river, I'll come up. And it is the Mississippi River that led me to this place. So a good name. I want to respect everybody's time, and we're getting to the end of our hour here. So I really like to say a special thanks to the Cuernavaca teachers for all of your dedication to working with Augsburg students, your selfless commitment of time and energy and resources, to Rosalba and to Lisanne, Norma, Ana Maria, Irma. Thank you.
Gracias a ustedes. No, gracias a ustedes.
Su compromiso, su enseñanza a nuestros estudiantes. I'd like to thank students for coming today. Thank you for taking time out of your week of vacation between semesters, showing up today and asking wonderful questions and showing interest in the program. Thank you, Lisanne, for your work coordinating students and ensuring everyone's comfort and well-being as you translate between cultures. And Lucy, thank you for your work in coordinating today's event and for all that you do to be a bridge in getting students to be able to study in Cuernavaca, also in Guatemala, in Costa Rica, in Namibia, Southern Africa, in various Augsburg CGEE programs. We are so fortunate for the work that you do to bring students together.
Okay. And thank you, Sarah, for your tireless effort in helping all of us with this transition as well, and being creative. She's done an amazing job.
This isn't,
Thanks.
this is my favorite thing to do. So if it weren't my job, I would just do it anyway. Very, very grateful. Thank you all
Thank
for
you,
being here
everybody.
today.
It was lovely to meet you, and congratulations again to those of you graduating. And we hope to have the opportunity to see you maybe next spring or in the fall if we're able to keep going. So your Spanish will go through the roof if you get a chance to do a study abroad with us, for sure.
You're fine.